All right, guys, today I want to talk about what could possibly be the best free coaster in the world. Right now, a lot of you guys are looking at, this is the Demolition one, not specifically this, but the similar type. And what I'm talking about is the one that uses the traditional ball spring clutch. If you guys remember one of the video we did, when the driver engaged, this thing comes out and it connects and it propels it. Almost all the free coaster you guys see in here, uses this system with the ball spring and the clutch. That's not what I'm talking about. This thing right here. Some of you guys are like, wait. What is this piece of crap right here? Guys, this is the classic Nankai. I would say right now, this is like early 80s, maybe mid 80s. Some of you guys help me out. When did the Nankai officially came out? I'm saying it's around the mid 80s and it faded out around 90, but these guys are still around, and quite possibly some of you guys are watching right now going, oh crap, he have one of those. I want it. I bet you guys are right now trying to figure out how to give me a call. Look at this thing, guys. Look at it for a second. This is one of the coolest features. You gotta look, there's welds. What the hell? Why is there welds on it? Well, the flange and the center are welded together. Not like these where it's all machined together. How could he fall in love with something like this? It's because this hub is so simple. First of all, I'm not gonna take this thing apart because this thing's so old. Last time I took it apart, something broke in there and I could not get it replaced. But I have a hub right here, this profile one. This is a shell that Profile actually made for it because the internals are so simple but good that Profile didn't even want to mess with the inside of it. They went and they made a lighter shell for it. Because this is a steel shell, guys. That's why it's well like that. To replace this. That just gives you an idea of how well the internal is. Just to give you an idea what the internal of that is. This right here, if you guys look at it, right away you guys see this. This is a coaster brake. Believe it or not, guys, this is the grandfather of free coaster. Look at this. You see how that clutch move in and out? That is how these things work. Look, when this thing turns, look, it moves. So this thing right here, see how it's all threaded to the driver? It's all threaded to the driver right there. You just can't see because everything's inside, but you can see it move. Now, what that makes this thing a coaster brake is these little brake pads inside the hub shell. It sits like this. You see these weird little thing right here? See how it's flat? Well, when this thing is inside, all like encased inside, when you pedal backwards to slam on the brake, you know, when you're young, you skid. Look, when you move this thing comes out. And when it comes out, it pushes both of these pads outward and it sees it up to the hub shell. And that's what makes the wheel stop. Braking and then going forward, and it propels. Braking, going forward. I don't know this. Somebody help me find out who was the OG person that went, took the hub shell apart and removed these. Reassemble it, and now basically this, it's what's inside there. Made this into a free coaster. When you roll back, this thing disengage and your crank doesn't move, just like a free coaster. So from here, Nankai, a couple other companies, but Nankai just happened to perfect it and made it better, came out with this. Inside this is exactly that. It's got loose ball. And that comes to my next thing on why this is so good. It's because these loose ball. Now, some of you guys might go, wait, I thought seal bearing is the better thing. It is. Seal bearings are smoother. But because loose ball, they're more forgiving. That's why they're called loose ball. When you get the side load of hitting, hubs moving like that, you see all those crackheads out there. They're riding, their wheels all moving, and the ball bearing's still in there. That's because the loose ball is a little bit more forgiving. These guys right here with the seal bearing, once the seal bearing loses and it start having a little bit of play, see how there's no play? Then everything's going to hell. It's just going to break, ball bearing's going to fall everywhere, and then this whole thing's just going to fall apart. So the loose ball bearing is, in my opinion, is what is the flaw in this. What is the advantage in this is the loose ball. And it's so easy to rebuild because if the loose ball in here breaks, you could literally go to a bike shop and you could buy these type of bearings for a replacement for that. And you're done. And you're done. And you know what I have also done before? This little cage, the cage that holds these ball bearings, somebody brought something in here once where that cage was completely destroyed. I couldn't get it. All I did is I just used the plain ball bearing. I repack it in there. I use it. The guy's been riding it for a couple of years, perfectly fine. That's how forgiving the loose ball bearing is. And I don't know what more to say about it, but It's because it's so simple. Because the inside here, all it is just a spring and the threading that moves the clutch in and out. What could break? Nothing. The problem with this thing right here, and I have explained it in another episode, if you guys watch back. Well, Alf, you gonna post it up right about here? And I explained why some of you guys remember your clutch, it slips and it won't engage. It's because these ball springs. What these ball springs do is this thing goes in, go in right there, and then push it right out to engage. So when you roll backward, this thing comes out. This thing is constantly rotating. It's grinding this thing down. This is an old one, so you can see how there's a dent right there? This one right here, there's another dent, and these ball right here, the ball, it actually is supposed to protrude out a little bit more, but it's worn down because the inside of this thing grinds it as it's rolling. So when it slipped, you gotta take the whole hub apart, change that, there's springs inside, repack, put it back, reassemble everything, and then when you reassemble it, again, the old video will show you, if you put this thing in wrong and it hits this, that thing completely go to the trash can. You gotta take it back apart. There's just a lot of stuff going on in here. In this, what is there? There's this guy. There's another bearing right here, but it's loose ball. But there's just a coil right here, that's it. That coil is not gonna wear down. The spring is not gonna wear down. I can do this a million times and it'll still do the same thing. So there's less wear and tear on this. So then some of you guys will be like, Phu, you're out of your mind. If this thing is so superior, then why does every single company start going with this? Well, the problem is, as BMX progressed, the tricks progressed and it got a little bit more gnarly, a little bit crazier. And you notice the 3/8 axle wasn't cutting it out. Because a lot of free coaster guys, you guys gotta remember, I know some of you guys out there, I got some young kids and some older kids. The older kids will know that the free coaster was mainly used doing flatland, not riding street. Well, the new kids, they're applying the old technology into new tricks, grinding, doing gaps to grind. This little axle wasn't cutting it, so they put a 14. Now I remember they did make a Nankai that was a 14, but it wasn't like a 14 straight through. They were adapters. But initially the inside of it is still 3/8, so it was still bending and breaking. It wasn't doing it. So hey Phu, why don't they just make one that is 14 all the way through? Well, then that's the thing, is that after they go in, they got to re-engineered the driver, all these internal parts. Why? When they have so much of these parts already readily available. So they just went out and they just redesigned a whole new one. And I think that's where KHE, correct? KHE came in and go, hey, you know what? We got this design, and went and designed this whole mechanism that pretty much sparked the whole movement. Then one by one, each company kind of went and had their own little version. I don't have a Planetary one on hand, but I think, again, we did cover that. Alf will show it. The Planetary system of free coaster is the most current one. But in my opinion, the Planetary, the Z coaster, the Ezra, okay, this, cool. It's got the ball, it's got the seal, it's got this, but in all fairness, I'm an old school guy. Simple is better. This thing right here is so old, I could go and slap this thing on a bike, ride it, do some light tricks. Mind you, the axle, okay? The axle was the flaw, but the bearings and the driver will not blow up. Guys, comment in. Do you guys disagreed or agreed? And some of you guys, let's hear your story of your Nankai story. If anybody's blown it up, and if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, like, dislike. Oh, we can't dislike no more, huh? Why not? I liked it.
They could just say dislike in the comments.
So yeah, guys, see you later. I got some work I gotta do.